to my podcast. My name is Young Asanga, your regular host on Al-Haq Apologetics and Polemics. We want to look at the linguistic assault, why Isa is not Jesus. Isa of the Quran is not the Jesus of the Bible. We'll be looking at the historical Jesus versus the Quranic Isa, a name that does not belong or fit at all. So here on this show, we confront theological claims with historical and linguistic truth. Today we are tackling one of the most fundamental questions in the dialogue between Christianity and Islam. Who is the Christ? And the answer, I will argue, is hidden right in the name itself. The Quran calls the Messiah Isa. Christians for millennia have called him Yeshua or Jesus. This is not just a difference in dialect. This linguistic chasm, this sudden, inexplicable break in the name is perhaps the most compelling single piece of evidence that the Quranic figure of Isa is not and cannot be the Jesus Christ of the Bible. The name Isa is a linguistic anomaly. It has no Hebrew, Aramaic, or Greek roots. And here we are going to expose that break. To understand the anomaly, we must first confirm the authentic name. The name Jesus is not a Greek invention. It is a transliteration of a deeply rooted Semitic name. The original Hebrew name for our Lord is Yeshua, which is shortened form of Yehoshua. And what does Yehoshua mean? It means profoundly, Yahweh is salvation, or Yahweh saves. The entire identity of the Messiah is right there in his name. This name was fluidly translated and transmitted across the ancient world. First, let us see Aramaic, the language Jesus spoke. The name was Isho, or you say Isho, a phonetic close cousin. In Greek, the language of the New Testament, it became Jesus. This is a direct morphological and conversion sound. Or let me say it was a direct morphologically sound conversion. The Greek preserves the initial Y sound and core phonetic structure. This chain of transmission is unbroken. Hebrew Yeshua to Greek Jesus to Latin Isus to English Jesus. This name is tethered to the very core of Semitic theology, salvation from God. Now let's step into the Arabian Peninsula. Centuries before the Quran was revealed, there were thriving Christian communities in places like Najran and among the Ghassani tribes. These people spoke Arabic. They were the local authority on how to say the name of the Messiah in their language. And what did they call him? They call him Yasu. Why is this crucial? Because Yasu is the proper Arabic transliteration of the Semitic Yeshua. It correctly preserves the initial Y sound and maintains the connection to the root meaning to save. Arabic-speaking Christians continue to use Yasu to this very day, as they have done for 1,500 years. So when the Quran appears, it has a choice. Adopt the historically accurate, theologically resonant, and locally recognized name Yasu, which was already in use by the people of the book. But it doesn't. Instead of the correct Semitic name, the Quran introduces Isa. And here is the core of the polemic, the absolute linguistic red flag. The missing Y or Ya. The Quranic name Isa completely discards the initial Y sound or Ya sound, replacing it with the guttural Arabic language Ain. This changes the name's root and meaning entirely. The name Isa is based on the root Ain, which is linguistically alien to what we had in the Greek, Aramaic, and Hebrew name. The loss of meaning also, because the name Isa fundamentally changes the root letters. It completely severs the name from its inherent meaning. Yahweh is salvation. The name Isa simply doesn't mean anything in the context of divine deliverance. Take note that when the name is changed, the import of the name also is changed. Now, sometimes critics will attempt to connect Isa to the Greek name Esau, or a highly obscure Syriac form. But this is apologetic guesswork. If we apply standard linguistic principles, the name Isa is completely rootless. It is completely rootless in the languages of salvation history, in Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. If God in the Quran truly intended to present the historical biblical Messiah, why would he use a name that is phonetically unrecognizable and Semitically meaningless compared to the one he gave the angels to announce? Yeshua, he shall save his people from their sins. This is not a simple translation error. This is a complete deliberate substitution. But we don't even have to rely solely on our external biblical or historical critiques. We can turn to internal Islamic scholarship itself. And what do we find? A profound admission of the name's foreignness. Classical Islamic commentators, linguistics, and scholars like Al-Tabari could not provide a coherent Arabic or Semitic etymology for the name Isa. They often concluded that it was a non-Arabic or Ajami name. This conclusion is the Islamic scholars themselves acknowledging that Isa is an outsider to the linguistic family of the prophets. Think about that. The most revered figure in the Islamic narrative of prophecy is given a name that is so utterly disconnected from the Semitic linguistic tradition that the greatest Arabic scholars have to admit we don't know where it came from. This is an admission that the name Isa is a sudden insertion, a unique construct that stands apart from the linguistic heritage of Abraham, Moses, David, and Yeshua. Let me leave you with this central polemical point. In the ancient world, names were identities. The biblical name Yeshua is a powerful theological statement. Yahweh saves. This name identifies his mission and his unique divinity. The Quranic name Isa is a linguistic void. It has no meaning of salvation. It is a fabricated foreign name that bears no organic relationship to the languages of the Bible. Why the change? Because the Quranic figure is not the same person. The figure called Isa, who was not crucified, who is merely a messenger, and who did not atone for the sins of the world, must have a different name because he has a different identity and a different mission. The name is the evidence that the historical saving Christ has been replaced by a theological substitute. The name Isa is the linguistic barrier that prevents any honest reconciliation between the Jesus of the gospel and the prophet of the Quran. Thank you for joining me this day. Let me know in the comments if you want to dive deeper into the specific theological divergence next week. God bless you, and until then, stand firm on the truth. Please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so, and also share our contents to reach a wider audience. God bless you. Shukran.